Next up on our list of players that are currently in training camp for the Packers is the men in the trenches, who helps the entire offense run, and that, of course, is the offensive line. These guys look to be a very solid unit with two of the best of their positions manning the left side. There is also some interesting depth pieces and developmental projects to keep an eye on as well as we move through training camp and into the preseason. So let's go ahead and get started with the best player on this line, David Bakhtiari. Coming out of a pretty weird season last year, David looks to get back to his dominant form he had in the 2019 through 2020 seasons, as this should be his first fully healthy season since 2019. He still played really well last season when he was on the field, but took some time recovering from his knee injury early on in the season, was on a limited snap count, and had a freak appendectomy that caused him to miss an additional 3 games in the middle of the season. But even then, he was dominant when healthy, and there was a clear difference when he was on the field compared to when he was not, as he really helped anchor the Packers' pass protection. The 3-time Pro Bowler and 2-time All-Pro out of Colorado looks to return to being recognized as one of the best tackles in football this upcoming season, and I believe he could do it. 100% fully healthy. Let's go Bakhtiari. Drafted in the 7th round in the 2022 NFL Draft out of Penn State, Walker is seen as a developmental tackle prospect that the Packers love to stash away on their roster for a couple of seasons, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're a quality starter/backup guy who is very good. And Walker is definitely someone to keep an eye on this training camp to see how he develops, as he does have good size and has a good coaching staff training him up. Drafted in the 6th round of the 2022 NFL Draft out of Virginia Tech by the Buffalo Bills, Tenuta bounced around the Bills practice squad as well as the Colts practice squad before landing on the Packers and appearing in their Week 16 game against the Dolphins last season. He is a giant of a man, standing at a whopping 6'8", but he will most likely be either on the Packers practice squad or a free agent, as the Packers do have a ton of depth at the offensive line position, particularly at tackle. Coming out of Indiana undrafted in 2022, Jones was signed to the Packers practice squad and was elevated to the active 53-man roster due to injuries across the offensive line last season. The Packers are looking to use him as a developmental depth piece similar to Rasheed Walker and Luke Tenuta, but keep an eye out for him during training camp in this preseason to see how he develops, as he could be an interesting backup tackle for the Packers. Signed as an undrafted free agent out of Florida by the Bears, Delancey spent some time on the Bears and Cardinals practice squad before spending the last 4 games of the season with the Packers practice squad. It will be interesting to see how he does in camp, as he is probably on the fringes of making the roster or practice squad. Coming out of Virginia Tech undrafted in 2019, the development of Nijman has been really special. Starting out as a member of the practice squad in 2019, a number of injuries led to Nijman being a starter for 21 games in 2021 and 2022. And he played pretty well in those games, having some struggles, of course, like almost every offensive lineman does. But this upcoming season, it is not guaranteed that Nijman will be the starting right tackle, as second-year pro Zach Tom is pushing for that job. But Nijman will still be a really good backup tackle and spot starter depending on injuries and performance, and should provide plenty of value for the Packers this upcoming season. Signed as an undrafted free agent out of the University of Alabama Birmingham, Telford is another one of those big-body developmental tackles that the Packers just love to have on either their active roster or practice squad to really develop their skills. I would imagine that he will be on the practice squad for his upcoming season and could potentially be a Yosh Nijman replacement for the 24 season, as Nijman is a free agent next year. The third-year pro out of Ole Miss had an absolutely disastrous season last year, being an absolute turnstile in the 6 games he started, giving up massive sacks and letting defensive linemen have their way in the run game. It was so bad that he was benched for the rookie Zach Tom, who was immediately outplayed by Tom. He is in danger of not making the 53-man roster due to how bad he played. If he does make this roster, he is going to be a backup, as he should not see the field unless absolutely necessary, and even then I would consider putting a defensive lineman in ahead of him. Drafted out of UCLA in the 3rd round of the 2022 NFL Draft, Ryan really did not have the greatest rookie season out there. He really did not get a chance to get on the field, even with all the injuries the Packers had along the offensive line. And late in the season, he got hit with a 6-game drug suspension for PEDs, so he had no chance at all to show what he got on the field. But there has been some good word out of Packers camp that he's really coming looking good and in shape and playing really well. So hopefully he can put the bad start to his career behind him and continue to be developed as a good offensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers. Drafted out of Wake Forest in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL Draft, everyone knew the Packers got a steal when Tom fell to them in the draft. And he proved it with a very solid rookie season that saw him play multiple positions on the offensive line. He appeared in 9 games for the Packers, 5 of them as starts, with sometimes being at guard or others at right tackle. The most impressive game for him, in my opinion, was in Week 18 against the Lions, when Tom took over for Yoshi Linemen, who was struggling against the rookie pass rushing sensation Aiden Hutchinson, and Tom pretty much shut him down for the rest of the game. He looks to be the starting right tackle for the Packers this season, and I'm so excited to see just how he develops from year 1 to year 2. I got a feeling that he can be a really special player for this Packers team. The 4th-year pro out of Michigan had another solid year as a starting right guard for the Packers. He was fantastic in pass coverage, being one of the better guards in the NFL in that regard, but he did also have some struggles in his run blocking ability. Still, he's a very solid starting guard, and should remain that for the Packers in 2023. The Packers' Swiss Army knife on the offensive line, the 5th-year man out of Mississippi State, looks to have another fantastic season at left guard again, leading the Packers with one of the best combos on the left side in the entire NFL with him and David Bakhtiari. The 2-time Pro Bowler is one of the best guards in the NFL with really good pass and run blocking skills that the Packers see tremendous value in as they locked up Jenkins long term, which is a great deal. Can play multiple positions along the O-line, and overall he's a fantastic player. I cannot wait to see him dominate in the green and gold for the next few years. Drafted in the 6th round in the 2022 NFL Draft out of Oregon, Hansen has mainly been a depth interior lineman for the Packers in his 2 seasons with the team, and has been a decent option for that role. He has appeared in 11 games for the Packers and made his first NFL career start in 2022. He should still be on the team for the 2023 season as a backup guard/center. Drafted in the 2nd round of the 2021 NFL Draft out of Ohio State, Myers has been somewhat overshadowed by the player taking with the pick directly after him, All-Pro center Creed Humphrey for the Kansas City Chiefs. But let's not discredit Myers, as he is still a pretty good young center for the Packers. He was named a starter in his rookie season and appeared in 6 games before going down with a season-ending injury. In his sophomore season, he started all 17 games for the Packers and played pretty well. He should still be the starter heading into 2023 and will put up another solid season for the Packers. Well, let me know what you guys think about the video down below. I think offensive line is very interesting to talk about, as I don't really get that much coverage unless something goes really, really wrong. But they are so important to establishing the run game and protecting our quarterback, especially this season when we got basically a brand new offense going in. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys, big men up front, paving the way for this offense to reach new heights. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Next up is going to be the defensive line. I'm including D linemen and defensive tackles in that video, so please stay tuned for that. I'll have more updates on my cuts, signings, and more information on the Milwaukee Brewers heading into the season. Well, that's all I got for today now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon.